morning.
Good morning, everyone. 6 a.m. on the 30th of January. Almost a month gone.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Hashtag KMT in the chat for a chance to win Dr. Kiltz hat.
The one he's wearing.
A facsimile, as they say.
Let us know where you're watching from. I'm in Central Florida. I'm not going to say frigid temperatures because it's not really true, although for me it feels like it. 41 degrees. And we're going to be talking in a second with Kendra. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat. QQQ. Like, share, comment, subscribe, wherever you're watching from. How are you doing this morning, Dr. Kiltz?
I am doing fabulous. Thank you for asking. It's, was it Friday? I got Jenny Medich coming over today. We're doing some cooking, and it's a beautiful day in paradise. And we're talking with Kendra today. So that's exciting. We're all nervous for whatever's going to happen today, but
it's going to be good.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely. Dr. Nelson, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I was trying to connect Rumble, and for some reason, it's not going.
Rumble,
doing great.
Nice. Gosh. All right.
For a moment, I thought I might drop by in Sarasota for today's activities, but I'm not going to.
Oh, okay.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Well, shall we go for it?
Yes. Kendra, you said you were in Ohio?
Yes.
Hope you're staying warm.
I am staying pretty warm inside.
Go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know your story of healing, and your keto carnivore story as well.
All right. Well, I'm Kendra. My gosh. Okay. The story is really long, so I'll try to condense it a bit. I feel like childhood was probably the same as like your typical dinners and food at home, like spaghetti and garlic bread and salad and mashed potatoes and gravy and fried chicken and tacos and burritos, those types of things. So I grew up with that. And then in middle school is when I started dieting. So I had been on a lot of diets. Also middle school is when I was diagnosed with all the medical stuff that I have. So I don't know, there are a few things with a lot of big words, so I just say it's like a few things under the dysautonomia tree or umbrella or roof or whatever you want to say. Basically, my autonomic nervous system, it just doesn't work like it's supposed to. So right around the time that started is around the time I started dieting. I have lost weight over the years with diets, but health, no, it was still crap, so I did Weight Watchers. I lost a lot of weight, but I still had inflammation and joint pain and extreme fatigue and just all the symptoms of my medical stuff. Plus, I think even if I didn't have these diagnoses, I still would have had the inflammation and the joint pain and the trouble sleeping. I would have had all that stuff still, I think, just from the way I was eating. I'm trying to think, like 6-week body makeover. I did all the things like low fat and whatever, counting calories, all this stuff. Like I said, I lost weight, but the health stuff was still always a problem. It didn't go away.
What type of health problems? What type of health problems were you having?
So I had the electrophysiologist just said, basically it's just dysautonomia, like the POTS and then inappropriate sinus tachycardia and neurocardiogenic syncope He just basically said that your body, like, well, the autonomic things.
So dizziness, weakness,
Yeah.
heart
I
racing.
Yeah, well, it would go like, 'cause there are times if, I'm just like sitting watching TV and then it will shoot up to like 120. Or if I'm in the middle of running and it'll just drop to like 40.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, so lots of up and down. All my numbers also naturally stay really low. My blood sugars are always pretty low. My heart rate, my blood pressure, all the numbers are more on the low side, which I thought was kind of weird because the way that I ate, I don't know, I must have just been truly jacking up my metabolism, and my insulin, my blood sugars must have just been awful because I ate a lot of carbs and junk. Like I just ate a bunch of crap.
Plants,
still-
lots of plants.
Yeah, I don't handle plants well at all. I have learned. So let's see, from 13 to 30 something, 32 or 33, I was just eating like complete junk. I'm not even gonna really say food. It was just like cereal, oatmeal, bagels, all the breads, all a bunch of desserts, frozen burritos, pizza rolls, tater tots, all the crap. Like that's just what we ate all the time.
Fake
And
food.
yeah, it just, oh my gosh, such terrible health. So my health got to a point of being so bad that, like the symptoms that I had, it was just all the time. Every time I walked, I always had to have a wall close by or something because of dizziness and doctors. Of course, it was never like, hey, eat this certain way, stop eating, try to really cut these certain foods out. It was the most dietary medical advice I got was eat a lot of salt. But they were saying like eat a lot of crackers, chips,
Wow.
Gardettos, things that are really salty. Always have a salty snack. And like salty snacks and peanut butter. Like that's pretty much, well, and juice. Like,
This is my salty snack.
Yeah, that's what I need.
It's a rock of salt.
I really should have that. I have a lot of salt now. But then it was also the same type of stuff, have the good carbs and don't eat too much fat and basically food pyramid stuff. So obviously that didn't help. Lots of meds. I mean, starting in middle school, it was just like throw pills. Oh, these are your symptoms. And if you know much about dysautonomia, that's all it is. It's like a huge bag full of symptoms. So it was just like, do this pill and this pill. I'm very sensitive to a lot of different things, like really sensitive to everything. So of course I was getting the side effect problems. So then, more pills to help with the side effects and then adjusting stuff. Let's cut this one in half and increase this one. Oh my gosh. I got so sick of it. I think 2019 was like the last time I actually went to the doctor because I was like, what's the point? It's just a bunch of meds and they don't help. And some of them make me feel worse. So I just kind of gave up on doctors around 2019. But gosh, there's so much to it. The plan.
So go
Did
ahead.
they ever diagnose you with hypermobility or EDS?
I know that there was a doctor who was like, you've never been diagnosed with like lupus? You've never been diagnosed? He was naming all these different things. He's like, because you fall into all these things. And then I told him the stuff I was diagnosed with. He's like, okay, that stuff makes sense. But I think he was wondering, there were so many different words. That's why I just say it's just like all under the dysautonomia stuff, because like my fingers will go completely white sometimes. I don't circulate blood. My blood won't circulate very well. Or I'm trying to think, or like the bottoms of my feet or my hands will almost, it doesn't even feel real. I think that's still just the blood circulation part. But the plan from the last electrophysiologist that I saw was just, there's no medicine that's going to help you. Obviously that was pretty proven after, 20 years of taking meds. So he's like, just try to avoid avoid the triggers. So don't sit for too long. Don't stand for too long. Make sure you're eating. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water, and avoid stressors. Stress is a big one for me. Even now, it still makes symptoms worse. It's just so much better now. But so that's pretty much how I've been living my life. Just try really hard to avoid things that are stressful, which is kind of hard because, you know, that's like life. How do I avoid life? Like stressful things happen. Sometimes somebody's driving stupid on the road and you have to like swerve to not get hit. So something that's, you know, really unplanned. And then I don't know, it's a lot. So that was the plan. But around I think it was 2021, or the end of 2020, somewhere around there, my medical stuff got really, really bad. I was in the hospital a lot. There was, I think the last time an ambulance was called, they couldn't even find my pulse. Like my whole left arm was purple. I was white.
Oh, wow.
I remember hearing them say, I can't find a pulse. And then they hooked me up to the pulse ox, and they're like, there's nothing. Like, obviously she's alive. We can see her, but we can't even get a pulse to read. It was, I think it was like 39 was my pulse when they finally got it. Stuff was really bad. My shortness of breath was worse. Chest pain was worse. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to die. Like, I was really preparing to I could feel my body malfunctioning to the max. But there were some people on Telegram. I used to be on that app. On Telegram, there was a Bible study on there that I was on, and they knew about my medical stuff after a while, and they're like, you gotta talk to this girl. She helps people. She teaches people how to, you know, change how they eat. And so they all like pitched in and helped, and she taught me a lot of stuff. So I went from the crap that I was eating to clean keto, like in a day. And I used to be against that. Like, I'm not going to cut these foods out, because when I went to school, I was taught all the things, you know, eat the good carbs, don't eat donuts, but eat brown rice and have lots of vegetables and fruit and a little bit of protein, no fat, you know. So that's how I'm a lifestyle and weight management coach. That's how I was taught to coach people. I feel terrible for anybody I ever helped in that way. But at that point, I was like, I will try anything. Like, I will try anything. I don't want to die. My kids are young. I don't want to die right now. And man, going from that crappy way of eating to clean keto, I was like, this is a miracle. I mean, I thought there was no way I could ever in my life feel better than that, because my symptoms went from like being this terrible to being like down here, you know. I didn't have to hold on to the wall everywhere I walked, which was awesome. So keto was doing pretty well, but I feel like I feel like I'm pretty in tune with my body. I think what happened is that I went from the crappy eating to clean keto, and that difference in symptoms with my medical stuff was so drastic that at first I thought, oh my gosh, it's gone. But I think after my body adjusted, then I could realize, okay, I still have some things. I still had inflammation problems. I still had episodes and dizziness and, you know, passing out sometimes. But I was still totally happy with it, because it was better than what it was, which was like passing out 2 or 3 times a week. It was awful. But
what is your current dietary habits? I
am carnivore now. I would say I don't like to use the word cheat, like cheat day or anything. I don't
treat.
Yeah, my version of a treat is like something that's, I don't even want to say full keto, because, you know, those types of cookies might use like almond flour or coconut flour. I do not handle that stuff well. So it's more like ketovore, I guess you could say. I'll add a sweetener to some carnivore stuff. Like, that's as far as I can go. Keto was working pretty well. And then last summer, I broke out into a horrible rash. I mean, from my collarbone to my feet. And it lasted for months. It was intense. It burned. It was,
Wow.
I wasn't sleeping. Like on a really good night, I would get about 2 hours of sleep in total. And that went on for months. I felt like I was going crazy. So at that time, it was so bad that I was like, I'm going to have to break down and go to the doctor, even though already on the way to the doctor, I'm like, here we go. They're going to be like prednisone and blah, blah, blah. And guess what? That's what they said. Take this steroid. And I did they gave me like a broad spectrum antibiotic just in case it was bacterial, which it wasn't. I was in the doctor's office quite a few times before they basically ruled. It almost became a thing of just like a process of elimination. And then after really looking at my medical history, the doctor, she basically was like, I think this is your body shifting hormones, because I had a partial hysterectomy in 2018. So that was like 6 years at that point without a period. And she's like, I think you're in menopause. Because when she added up all the different, like, I didn't change how I was eating or exercising. I gained 25 freaking pounds in like 3 months. And then the rash, she's like, that happens sometimes, I guess. I don't know. When people go into menopause, you can have a rash. I guess.
What's a partial hysterectomy, and why did they recommend that and do that?
Well, in 2014, I actually had my fallopian tubes removed because my doctor was like, all of my pregnancies were high risk because I was passing out. And my last one, it's like as each pregnancy went on, they got worse. And my OB at that last one was like, I really think you should talk with your husband and see, you have 4 kids, and it's just kind of like the more kids, the more pregnancies you have, it's just such a risk of you falling on your belly or something and losing a baby. So maybe, talk about not doing that. So of course, in my head, I'm like, I don't want to risk that. And gosh, no, I wouldn't want to do that. So we've talked about it and like, okay, yeah, we're good. We have 4 healthy kids. Let's just go ahead and stop that. So, and then in 2018, my periods were so bad. And we noticed over the years that like the week leading up to my period, and then that week, my symptoms were always worse. I passed out more frequently. I don't know if it was just too much on my body or whatever. So they took out my ovaries, and they basically just, I wanted to keep my cervix, but they took everything else out to stop my periods.
They took your uterus out and your ovaries.
Yes.
And your tubes.
Yep. So they said, which the doctor at that time even said, you're probably going to go into menopause early because, we're taking all this stuff out. You're not going to be bleeding anymore. So I was like, okay, whatever. But
what do you espouse all your symptoms to? And did any of the doctors ever put your diet and your diseases together?
No, it was always pills, and then just drink a lot of water, eat a lot of salty snacks. Like that's, and then avoid stressors. Like if you start to feel dizzy, get on the floor and put your feet up, and avoid anything that's going to cause symptoms, which could be nothing at all sometimes. Like I seriously have just been sitting and something happened. So it's like, how am I, like, quality of life was just not great. And when I very first had that rash, I was like, all right, I'm going to try carnivore to see if it'll make this rash go away. But I only did it for 30 days. And my body, I'm just very sensitive to things and very slow with it. Like,
where did you hear about the carnivore diet, and what drove you that direction?
Basically people like you, Dr. Barry, just which I've heard about it, and I always thought well, kind of like higher protein, more meat focused, but still keto. I would still have all the vegetables and sometimes have like cookies made with almond flour and all that, but still notice like, gosh, I still feel, I don't know, I just didn't feel my best. I just didn't know what exactly it was. I was just like, I'm keto, so maybe this is just, as good as it gets. But I don't think I did it for long enough. I only did it for 30 days. The rash was still there. The symptoms were still there. The weight gain was just not going down. And I was like, okay, so I guess that's not going to help. And then I went right back to keto. And that's when I very first had that rash. Didn't know I was in menopause yet. After I knew, then I started just looking more into it. And everything I read about was like, take estrogen pills, take this pill, take that pill, take this supplement. I'm like, oh my gosh, is there anything that's just food? Like, I don't like taking pills. If I have a horrible headache, I will use ascorbic acid to get rid of it because I don't want to use Tylenol and all the other things. So then I started to see videos pop up about like people just going carnivore to help with their symptoms, to help with even with the mood, because I felt crazy. I'm like, I don't even feel like me sometimes. It just sucks. So I said, okay, I don't think I did it long enough. I should have known. I should know my body better than that to know that it's going to take me forever to adjust to something. So I said, okay, I'm going to do 90 days carnivore. And it wasn't until about day 75, around 75 and 80 days is how long it took before I started to feel the benefits of it, which in my head, I don't know if I'm wrong in saying this, but I felt like, my gosh, I must have a lot of healing that needs to be done if it took almost 3 months of carnivore before I started to feel the benefits of it. But I did. The scale slowly started to come back down. My mind started to feel a little bit more like myself. My skin looks so much better now. And after the 90 days, this is when I really realized, holy crap, I can't even eat vegetables. I slowly started to add in keto stuff. I like to use my body kind of as like a science experiment. I think it's fun to try different foods and see what it does. Spinach, onions, some of the most simple, like the best keto foods. I was like, I feel awful just from eating some vegetables and like almonds or pecans or macadamia nuts, any of these good keto safe foods. I felt so inflamed, my gut. I felt terrible. So I'm like, all right, I'm just carnivore. That's it. Like I don't even want to eat vegetables. They make me feel like junk.
So you were previously, or you are a health coach, but you're teaching something non-carnivore in the past?
Yeah, in the past I did.
And now what are you teaching?
I actually I always am. I know a lot of people are like, don't tell people not to eat this stuff because, every body is different, which very true. Every body is different. We're going to react to certain foods differently. Some people do wonderful eating keto. I don't, but I would never tell someone don't eat keto, but I still truly, honestly believe that some form of low carb, it has to be some form of low carb. So
I was wondering, is it really low carb or is it really supposed to be high fat?
I don't know. I never will teach it. I'll never tell somebody don't eat fat. I'm like, eat skin on chicken and stuff. Like, please don't do the chicken breast and salad because you're going to be hungry. You're going to be hungry. Your energy isn't going to be as there. And just being someone who's been through it a lot, if you're constantly thinking about food, it's just not going to last. Because one of these days, you're going to be like, I can't take it anymore. And you're just going to eat anything. But my coaching, mostly, I barely even talk about food. When I do talk about food, it is always something like, stop eating all the like packaged stuff, the frozen stuff, the all the bread and the pasta, just try it, just try and see how it goes. But mostly my coaching is mostly on a lifestyle part, because that's, in my experience, that is what I've talked the most about with clients, is what because it's also connected. Like, what are we doing? Breaking habits and perspective and handling certain situations without using food as your, comfort. And those are the things that I mostly talk about with clients. So that's mostly what I focus on.
Do you still eat any plants, any vegetables or fruits?
Trying to think. No. If I cook something, like if I'm cooking hamburger and maybe I'm making like a taco casserole or something for my family that would have like onions and salsa and sour cream and stuff inside of it, I just cook the ground beef. I take some out for myself, and then I'll finish making the rest for them, because they handle vegetables fine at this point. Our oldest son, when he got close to 15, his body started to change. He cannot handle the little bit of carbs that he used to eat. So he's more like how I eat now. The two younger ones are more keto. My husband is like keto / low carb, I guess you could say, because he eats some of the siete, I think is how you say it, the chips, because the ingredients are good. So he'll eat some of those sometimes. But yeah, I know that it's not going to make me feel so great. So I just eat meat and cheese.
So do you think really we're not so different? And then the diseases that pop up over time are secondary to a acute and or chronic consumption of plants and low-fat diet. And really, we should all be adopting a carnivore lifestyle.
I would say at least close to carnivore. I don't know if it's like I think everybody should eat this way because it's the greatest. Like, I don't think I would say that if I didn't actually live it. Because at first, with just, a clean keto way of eating, I felt like it can't get any better than this. And then when I went carnivore, I was like, oh, I was wrong. So I feel like people should at least try it for 90 days, just in case their bodies are super slow like mine.
So therapeutically, we should be introducing this to all medical practices.
Oh my gosh.
That diet should be the first thing that we ask questions and intervene with, and rather than a drug or a dissection. Yes. And I'm an OBGYN that suffered the knowledge of an incorrect diet and focused on drugs and dissections primarily, and really did not see and understand the fact that I was suffering, my patients were suffering from a deadly human dietary direction.
Yeah, I seriously, if I think, I don't know, I might have like I don't know, it might be crazy. There are people in my family who think I'm like conspiracy theorist, tinfoil hat person, but in my head, I'm like, if we went to the doctor and they told us, eat this way, try this, stick to this way of eating for the next 6 months, come back and see me, move daily, drink this type of stuff, don't just drink a bunch of drink a gallon of water a day and no electrolytes, don't do that, then people really wouldn't be at the doctor. Our whole house is now some version of keto or carnivore. We don't ever go to the doctor. We don't take our kids to the doctor. We don't need to. When we get sick, we use vitamin C powder. We do like a tissue flush for the first couple days, and then we're better. So how much money? I don't know. I feel like it's all just evil, money hungry, just keep them coming back, and so I feel like that might be a big reason why we don't talk about food and, hey, let's eat this way, because then, how many patients will they really have? You know what I mean? That's just.
Well, and it's really difficult in our environment because there are many cheat and treat choices that are labeled keto,
Yeah.
which in fact they may be killers for so many of us. That suddenly cancer shows up, or blindness shows up, or depression, suicidality shows up, and I think the beauty of what we're all doing here in this, we'll call it keto carnivore faith and fasting space, is sharing ideas that are changing individuals, families, communities, and the world.
Oh yeah. We actually used to. So when we were very first learning about it, we would be like, oh, this is whatever. And we would just read the nutritional facts. And it wasn't until we started to really learn more, like the more we learned, the better we got. So we would learn about stuff like, oh, this says keto, that says keto. But then we started learning about actual ingredients and what the actual ingredients are and what those do inside of our bodies. So then we started looking at these, keto friendly things, bars and tortillas and cereals and everything. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is just as bad. Like we might as well just be eating the freaking Fruit Loops at this point because the ingredients suck. So that's when we started to really cut that stuff out. But yeah, it's everybody's health in this house has improved so much. My husband was in a car accident when he was 18. He broke his, he broke a lot of bones. His shoulder is like completely shattered. Lots and lots of pain every day. And when I started eating keto, everyone was like, you need to make your husband eat this way. You need to make your husband do this and that. I'm like, I'm not making him do anything. He's a grown man. He'll figure it out, And he started to see my improvements, and he really saw them because he helped me with them all the time. I mean, he had to help a lot. Lots of times of picking me up off the floor and helping me shower and helping get me to bed and help. I mean, he had to do so much. And then he started to see things changing. I wasn't just randomly sleeping throughout the day anymore. And I was able to do a little bit more. So then he started to cut his carbs out. And then the kids were doing it. He's like, I barely have any pain. And now he's like, the only time my back really hurts is if I eat carbs. Even if they're, good ingredient items, it's still carbs. And it still makes my body hurt more. So his health, his sleep, everything is so much better. Our kids are way better in school now. They are, their faces they don't break out. Most kids their age, they're like broken out acne and all this other kind of stuff. They don't have that. My son the other day, this was a few weeks ago, but he came into our bedroom doorway and he's like, Mommy, I think I have a pimple. I'm like, okay. And he's like, what do I do? Like, it popped. Like I have stuff. He was like panicking because I'm like, wow, you're 15 years old and you're so unfamiliar with pimples that you feel the need to like get up in the night and tell me I have a pimple. I'm like, it'll be okay. Just don't pick at it. Go to bed. It's fine. But they're not used to these things because the way that we eat, they don't have acne breakouts and all that kind of crap.
However, dermatologists will tell you that it doesn't matter the way you eat.
Diet doesn't matter.
Yeah, I have a lot of people who say that everything in moderation, just exercise. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I know that exercising helps. People eat carbs and then they go for a walk directly after that. I get that helps and everything, but I'm like, it's still in there. Like you're still taking it in.
We have a couple of questions.
Sure. Let's see. Here's one from the real Dr. Nelson. How did your fat to protein ratio change when you moved into this carnivore phase?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely eat more fat. I know that. And then I think I got to a point where I was eating way too much fat. Like I was eating really fatty meat and then adding a bunch of butter on top of it. And I couldn't, I'm like, I still don't feel awesome. My weight still isn't doing anything different. So I just like, okay, maybe if I cut back on the butter a little bit. Then I found a good balance. But yeah,
Well,
it's
you don't
more
fear the
that-
fat.
Oh no. No, I mean, there are days where I'm like, I'm not really hungry. Like I'm kind of hungry, but I don't know, I'm not feeling it. So I just like eat butter. I'll just take a bite of the butter and then I'm good.
What's your
I-
thoughts? I'm sorry.
No, you're
What's your thoughts on how we judge ourselves and our body shape? And is this maybe part of our problems? We're all sort of directed to sort some perfect, which isn't true in nature.
Gosh, I think that's, man, that's one of those things that I guess I would say is like an example of where I talk more about the lifestyle part than the food part. It's in so much as in the way that we think about things and see things. And that's such a struggle. I've struggled with that. Starting about age 10, I just hated the way that I look. And I just look gross. I think when I look in the mirror, I'm like, ew, no matter what. But it wasn't until I got to a point where I finally realized, what the heck, when I was 200 pounds, and when I look at a picture of me at my lowest adult weight, which was 153, I put those pictures side by side, and I'm like, when I looked at myself in the mirror at 200 pounds, and when I looked at myself in the mirror at 153, I saw the exact same thing. And it can't, and I think that psychological, that horribly poor body image, it can make you maybe afraid. I could see somebody being afraid to eat this way, because it would be like, I don't want to eat all that fat because it might make me fat, it might make me fatter. And gosh, that sucks. But yeah, just also understanding that I don't know. I'm trying not to get emotional because it's such a, man, I just, so many years of just like hating.
How has the carnivore lifestyle helped you in your mindset today versus how it was when you were in the keto or standard world? And emotions are okay. We're right here with you, Kendra. Thank you for being here and sharing what you've been going through in life, because this is real.
Yeah. I think how I feel is the biggest change. Not how, I don't feel inflammation anymore. Like I feel better. I still have some of the medical stuff. Like I still have some things. But it takes a lot longer for me to get there, which gosh, I'm so grateful for that it takes more before I get to a point of passing out, but the food is part of it, but also just me working on my mind has been a big part of it, and looking in the mirror and being like, okay, I'm not gonna pretend like I look in the mirror now and I'm like, oh my gosh, I look awesome, because I just don't. But I still can look in the mirror and say I feel so much better, and I'm starting, the way that I feel is starting to reflect back.
You look fucking awesome, by the way. In that, the God is within us. I always ask the question, what would God think of me?
I know. I used to struggle with that so much, because I'm like, I'm basically like crapping on his artwork, like he made me specifically in this way. And I know that the way that I eat, obviously, my weight, it's not like God was like, I want you to be 200 pounds, but and something else that helped me with the mental part of it is I'm actually doing something about it. So I went through a like, I'm just not the like poor me type of person. So I'm like, okay, this is a problem. What can I do to try to make it better? So I wrote down things I don't like about, that I'm unhappy with. And then next to that, I wrote down, what am I doing about it? And that helped a lot, because I can say, okay, I know that I still have some, like, I'm mostly concerned with, like, now I'm more concerned with just health. Visceral fat, I don't want a lot of visceral fat. I want my organs to function well. I want my bones to be strong. I want my muscles to be strong. That's my focus. So am I actually doing something about it? So now if I look in the mirror and I'm like, I can tell, especially in the middle area of my body, in my midsection, I know I have some fat that can be lost. But I can know, well, I'm doing something about it. You know, I'm not just looking at myself in the mirror like, gosh, look at all that fat in the middle. And then that's the end of it. Like, no, okay, yeah, I have that, but I'm, you know, adjusting the way that I exercise. I'm eating a certain way. My body is really slow. Something else I need to remember. Some people have been carnivore for like 5 years, and then they started to, I mean, it took like 5 years for them to lose something. So
you're a mom. Most important job in the world, a wife, a beautiful human being, and your struggles are the story of our strengthening, because that is, I think, and your courage to come on here today and share your struggles is amazing, and because it isn't easy, and that just, I'm really, again, grateful to you for being here and sharing with all of our brothers and sisters who aren't all carnivore or and I always say we're all imperfect. He made us this way, right? He made us this way, and that's amazing. Do we have some questions in the chat?
We do. Let's see. Chuck asks if you looked into Sally Norton about oxalates.
I have not. Well, actually, I haven't looked at that perfect person specifically, but when the rash very first came, that's what I thought was happening. So I was like, I know there were some people on Dr. Berg's channel who were like, oh, it's oxalate dumping, and, you know, this is why I have a rash. Use the gallbladder pills and do this, change this eating. Some people were like, add in a little bit of carbs to balance it out. And I tried all the things. So, but I have not looked at that person specifically.
Next.
I just want to say real quick. So all the Zoom calls are now on the Monday night link in the community. Larry was asking about that. So it's just one link now to make life a lot easier for all
Same
of us.
link.
Same link as Monday night. Okay. I guess this is for Dr. Kiltz, but we can also ask Kendra, what's your opinion on bacon? Kendra, what do you think about bacon?
I am curious to know what you have to say, because I can't handle it. I ate bacon last night. I try every once in a while because I love it. Like, who wants to not eat bacon? So every once in a while, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to eat it again and see how it makes me feel. Like, so sick. I still kind of feel sick from the bacon that I ate last night. I just can't handle it. It sucks.
Pork belly, beef belly, lamb belly. You see, where bacon is just the belly of the beast. If you just do the pork belly, beef belly, and you slow cook it, and is so good. No curing, no sugar, no spices, no curing. And that's our problem. We hear the word bacon, of course, it's cured pork belly. But if you get away from the cured pork belly and then look at that pure pork belly, beef bacon, and even look at lamb, a goat, there's the difference, I think. The problem is the soaking, the curing, which adds spices and sugars, which can be very harmful for some of us more so than others. So
yeah, it seems to handle beef bacon fine. It's just more the pork, and we use Peterson's Farms.
But have you done just pork belly with uncured?
Yep.
Right.
And
so
It's so good, but it still made me feel
So you don't do well on
crappy.
pork. So you
Yeah,
don't do well
so
on pork.
yep. So
Just-
which is fine. I like to start to have beef withdrawals, I swear, because there are some times where we're out and I'm like, all I have is we have like chicken thighs, which is still good, it tastes good and everything, but I'm like, oh, I need some red meat. Like, please, can we go get some burgers or something?
Karen would like to know, how does your faith help with mindset?
That's where all of my everything stems from the Bible. Everything that I talk about on my channel, the way that I look at myself, that's the part that took the longest. I'm really good about giving other people encouragement and grace, and helping them learn patience and with themselves, and it's a process and all that kind of stuff, and so much to appreciate the struggles. I'm really big on that. We are strengthened through our struggles. I love to fall. I love to fail because we get to get back up, and we learn so much in our challenging times, and we're being molded, and I just love that kind of stuff. So when I'm helping other people, it's all based off of that. It wasn't until recently that I started finally doing it with myself, and that has helped a lot with the way that I see myself, what I think when I look at myself in the mirror, just how I think about myself, period. I went for years like, I am worthless. Why am I even here? I suck as a mom. I suck as a wife. I can barely do anything. My husband still does the laundry. He still, I think, tries to help with some things. But I just felt completely useless. And it's just, the more I dig into the Bible, the more I study God's word, the more I'm starting to focus, not in a putting me first. I will never put myself first ever. And I don't look at that as a bad thing. I would rather put others before myself. But I finally started looking at myself at for a change, where when I'm reading things and learning things, applying it to myself, and it has helped so much. Like, all of these people I talk to, I look at them like, you are God's creation, but I am too. And I really wasn't looking at myself like that. I was just like, this disgusting, just like, blah, what's the point of you even being here? And I stopped looking at myself like that. And that completely stems from just me studying God's word and applying it to myself, finally.
God is number one.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
Always.
Yeah. And a lot of people have told me like, no, you need to, you need to put you first. And I'm just so Bible based, so I'm like, if God doesn't tell us that, he says to put others before ourselves. And that's what I'm going to do. We can still but also he blessed me with this body, and I need to take care of it. And I need to be kinder to myself. And so that is stuff that I've been working on. And gosh, it's helped a lot.
You said crapping on his artwork. And so what you need to do is do painting.
Oh my gosh, I love to paint.
Well, so crap is fertilizer and food for the Ferrari. You're the Ferrari, and our job is to manifest his artwork every day. And I think that's what you're doing here. You're manifesting his artwork, and you're the artwork. And crap is fertilizer. It's all it is. It's the best.
Yeah, so I'm going to use it for good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's so funny. Because I actually recently started painting. I don't think I'm very good at it, but it's so fun and therapeutic. I don't know. I was like, man, did he say that because you looked at my channel, all my live streams? I've just been painting during live streams, and I put my face on Bob Ross's body.
Oh, love Bob. But my paintings are like,
I want to see.
If you haven't seen my paintings, this is Kiltz's artwork.
Oh, that is cool.
All right.
I should do art like that.
Well, that's crapping on his artwork, meaning that is art. But then the more you do, the more it expands, and that's what we're all here for, because we are the artists, and he is guiding us on the journey every day. And so, I always ask the question, who creates everything? God.
I mean, we're not creators,
No,
but
so-
gosh, I just am like, so every day I'm just like, okay, just use me. That's always what I'm saying, like, use me. So that's why when it comes to my medical stuff, I've had people like, you don't have strong enough faith. You got to believe that you don't have it and have enough faith. And I'm like, well, from what I read, like, that sounds great and everything, it sounds real nice and motivational. But if you actually are reading God's word in context, that's not what it says. And I try to look at it like, okay, maybe he's looking at me like, because I'm always praying, like, just use me for your glory. I want to be a light for Jesus. So if I have to suffer a little bit in order to still, because I'm still always giving him glory. I'm grateful all the time. I'm like, yeah, okay, I might pass out sometimes, but, and then I have all the good that comes from it. And if I can give God glory through the crappy things in my life, I'll take it.
Well, who creates everything?
God.
Everything.
Yes.
So does God love us?
Yes.
So there is actually nothing bad ever.
Yeah, I know.
It's all just God's work.
Yes. And I know that we have, like, we make decisions, we have consequences to those things.
God's
but
work.
he's going to make it. Yeah. He's going to say,
All
okay.
God's work.
And it's not a surprise to him. I find so much comfort in that. He already knew I was going to make that crappy decision, that to do this thing, and that the outcome was going to be not so great, but
Fertilizer.
he's going to learn. I'm going to learn something from it. I'm becoming more equipped for something that's coming up next. I'm wiser now, moving into the next time that something similar pops up. Like,
Judge.
I love the hard times that we go through, even though they hurt and they're difficult. I love them so much just because of how he works through us during those hard times. I love it.
He strengthens us. Next question,
Yeah.
Alia.
Next question. Let's see. All right. All Americana. Are most people who follow a carnivore diet in a state of ketosis?
Probably, but not always. Not that important. You feel better on carnivore. Ketosis doesn't matter, in my opinion.
I've never ever checked my ketones. I checked my blood sugars at the beginning, and that's when I really realized, gosh, my blood sugar, my numbers are, like, always low. How do I don't even know how it's possible, but
My body works perfectly as God intends, always. How young are you?
I just turned 38.
Nice, beautiful age. I'll be 70 in March.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. We look the same age, Dr.
Younger
Kiltz.
and younger every day.
What the what?
Rockstar. We got an Ohio meetup coming up sometime this year.
Yep.
Oh, that would
Sometime
be
it'll happen. And Chicago in July. Let's see here.
Get that one right there.
Okay, did you experience any growing pains or transition period when dropping the last of the plants?
Not really. I seemed to switch over pretty easily. I went to the bathroom a few extra times, but that was it. I didn't feel sick. I didn't feel like any. No, I felt it just seemed like, is this even going to work? I kind of felt the same until about 75, 80 days of carnivore. And then all of a sudden it was just like, my skin was even clearer. My sleep was even, but everything was just so much better. So that my transition phase, I guess, was just like a miracle. That was my difference. I was just like, oh my gosh, I feel great. But no, nothing really bad, nothing uncomfortable.
All good.
All good. Here's your channel.
What's
Everyone needs to subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kendra, so what is your focus today in consume goodness? What's your
today,
purpose?
consuming goodness. I think that it's everything. The things that we read, the conversations that we have, what we eat, just what we do with our time, everything. It matters because it's going to affect what we do and the things that we say. It's going to matter what comes out. So that's just always my goal, is to consume goodness in every single area of life with all of our senses, our eyes, just everything that we're taking in, that it be goodness, because it is going to affect our mindset and the decisions that we make and the way that we feel.
What part of your journey would you say, God, I wish that never happened?
I don't think.
Or would you say, go ahead.
I don't think I have anything like that, because even when I felt like I was going to die, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have been desperate. I wouldn't have been like, gosh, I'll try anything. And I probably never would have started eating keto and then gotten into, down this road. So it's hard. I don't know, but it's hard for me to answer, because I feel like
You did.
there's such purpose in all of it. And I learn, even if, even in like I've even told people, like, if I could choose to go back to being, 13 and say, okay, you never have these medical problems, would I do that? No, I don't want to not have them, because I've learned a lot from them. Our kids have learned a lot from them, and, built a lot of character from watching me have that, and my husband, and I wouldn't not have it, because it's part of my life, part of my steps, part of my purpose somehow. So I don't think I would not do anything.
Purpose.
Yeah.
The pain and suffering is part of the purpose.
Yeah. And there's so much to be grateful for in the pain and suffering, even in the midst of it. It's kind of hard to do sometimes, but gosh, it's so possible, and it's liberating, and it's just really great, I think.
So where's the best place for people to find you?
YouTube. That's pretty much all I have. I don't have Instagram or Facebook or any of the extra things. I just have YouTube, pretty much.
Could you show that her website again, or her
Sure.
YouTube channel?
Yeah.
And so could people get a personal consult with you to listen and learn about their story and how your story and their story come together and help us individually?
Yeah, you mean like a
consult? Or
you can email. I have consumethegoodness@gmail.com. And then I try to get do stuff like this. I've had Amy, which you guys know, on, and we talked about kind of this type of lifestyle and how it's helped and things like that. And then just Jason Keto. I do live streams with him periodically, so it's good times. But yeah, emailing me is the best way to contact me.
So your experience and story, do you think somehow we should all wait for the science to tell us the right answer here in a scientific journal, prospective, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled way? It's going to answer our questions?
Nope. No, I don't. And that's something else that I'm recently learning. Like, your body's going to tell you. If someone's telling you, eat these foods, eat this much spinach, eat this many Brazil nuts, eat this much meat and this much fat, okay, but you're doing it and you don't feel awesome, you're still not feeling that great, but they're saying, yeah, but this is what you need, this is what you need for these certain nutrients and all this other kind of stuff. Your body's going to tell you. My body told me. I mean, who can't handle spinach? Like, it's spinach, for goodness sakes, but I cannot. So Your body's going to tell you there's some inflammation
Ollie,
still.
I
There's
gotta end it.
discomfort.
Ollie,
Yes,
just get
sir.
it ended. Bye,
Okay.
everyone. Go, Elliot.
Have a great day.